Hey everyone and welcome back to another episode of what makes this game awesome. I've had one for a little while, but finally my Switch is all set up for recording, so finally I can bring you guys the Nintendo games that I've been keeping quiet about the whole time. Now since it's a series I've always loved, as soon as I heard that New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe was coming out on Switch, I knew I had to get it because I never owned a Wii U. So today I'm going to be getting into the nitty gritty of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and what makes this game awesome. So after I picked this game up, me and my girlfriend sat down and 100%ed the entire New Super Mario Bros. U part of the game in under 4 days. And I'll be completely honest, it was really fun. In my opinion, this definitely does the series justice. I played New Super Mario Bros. Wii and also New Super Mario Bros. On DS, and this definitely feels like a nice follow-on from those two. Now this game comes with both New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U that both came out on the Wii U, and they're both in one cartridge on this game, which is pretty cool. Now New Super Luigi U is actually more different than I expected to New Super Mario Bros. U, but for this video I'm mainly going to be talking about New Super Mario Bros. U because a lot of the good things about that game are also good about New Super Luigi U. Essentially though, they're similar games, but with different level designs and quite different controls. Following the trends in the series, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe has you exploring 8 worlds to rescue Princess Peach. Bowser and the Koopalings invade Princess Peach's castle, and it's your job to get Mario, Luigi, and the rest of the characters across the Mushroom Kingdom and save Peach one more time. In this game, you can play as Mario, Luigi, Blue or Yellow Toad, but only one or the other for some reason, not both, Toadette or Nabbit. Now, Toadette and Nabbit are basically easy mode in this game, with Toadette having easier platforming and getting more 1-ups, and Nabbit being completely invincible. Now, I get that they wanted to add newcomers, but one of the best parts of the entire game and of the series ever since the Wii version was the 4-player co-op. This is probably one of my biggest problems with the game because a lot of people who are getting this game are getting it for the 4-player co-op. It's one of the few platforming games where you actually can have 4 people on the screen at once. However, with these characters, at least one person is always stuck playing as either Toadette or Nabbit, and no one wants to play easy mode, especially if you actually really enjoy playing Mario games. A lot of people who do this just want a challenge, and if one person has an inherent advantage, that takes a lot of the challenge out of it. If you're playing as Nabbit, and you can't take any hits, or you're playing as Toadette and your platforming is easier than everyone else, a lot of people just want to play as their favourite characters. If anything, characters like Nabbit seem like they were made for an annoying younger sibling just to stop them from dying so much. It may seem like quite a small gripe, but if you're buying the game pretty much exclusively to play with other people, this is definitely something worth keeping in mind. Both New Super Mario Bros. U and Luigi U have all of the power-ups available from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, as well as a new reimagined power-up, the Tanuki Suit 2.0, sorry, the Flying Squirrel Suit. This lets you glide like the Tanuki suit from Super Mario Bros. 3, but also allows you to grip walls for a little bit and fly upwards when gliding in the air, making for an amazingly versatile suit. You can pick these up from question mark blocks in levels and also in the mushroom houses dotted around the map, which use memory puzzles to add some extra challenge to getting the best power-ups. You store all of the different items in a small inventory, and therefore you're encouraged to use them pretty quickly because you can't store very many. They also added another new item in this game, the P Acorn, which is a flying squirrel suit but with infinite recoveries, so it's a bit broken in my opinion, and to be honest I didn't use it a single time in my playthrough. Now, cool new suits are great, but how the game actually controls is arguably the most important part, and I can say firsthand, it controls pretty great with all of the first-party controllers, and quite a few of the third-party ones too. The Joy-Cons have plenty of precision to play this game, and while you can play it on the Joy-Con's kind of fake D-pad, the joystick feels much more natural to play with. Even on a single Joy-Con, it still feels pretty good. The Pro Controller feels even better with responsive joystick and D-pad controls and very, very sensitive motion controls. Yes, this game does require motion controls to play, in just a few levels. I kinda wish they'd made it playable without them, but if you want to fully complete the game, you have to use motion controls for a few tilt platforms. In handheld mode, this is kind of dumb to do, but it does work and you can get past the levels with any of the controllers, even in handheld mode. Every single one of the levels from Worlds 1 to 8 is designed to have multiple difficulty routes, with the base level being fairly simple, but collecting all the star coins in a level being, in some cases, very, very challenging, especially in single player. In all the levels, this adds an extra difficulty route that you can take if you want that extra challenge of 100%ing the game. However, the game still isn't that difficult, so if you want a little harder of an experience, New Super Luigi U gives you less time per level, and it also changes every single level in the game to make them quite a lot harder, especially with Luigi's new slippy high jump controls, which overall does make the game quite a lot harder, and you're essentially getting 2 games in one. I like the level design in this game a lot, and while I feel it's not quite as good as New Super Mario Bros. Wii, it's still very well done and feels quite a lot like additional HD Wii DLC, I guess. If you liked it on your Wii, you'll like this too. It is by no means an original game like Odyssey, but if the formula works and is fun to play, I really have no problem with this game expanding on it, as long as it's still fun and adding new things. Nintendo has never been at the forefront of graphics, but is it just me, or are the Switch games so good looking? This game looks crisp with really nice dynamic shading on the characters, quite a few different art styles, and even fully voice acted 3D animated— Okay, yeah, I may have made up the last one, but the game looks great. It seems like it's at the pinnacle of the series graphics, looking how it was always supposed to in the DS and Wii games. The game runs in dock mode at a very stable 1080p 60fps with absolutely no drops during my gameplay, although this is kind of expected for ports from the Wii U because they already run pretty well on the Wii U. The game is very colourful with the usual bright palette that makes Mario games really feel alive and blooming, and with environments varying from the grassy plains of World 1 to the burning lavas of World 8, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to seeing. You guys can judge for yourself if you like the art style of the game or not, and while I admit it's nothing new, I really like the direction it's been taken in. It's kind of realistic cartoony. I especially like the levels like these in World 5 with an oil painting aesthetic, providing a completely new kind of environment to explore, and I kind of wish they'd done this a little bit more in the game. The soundtrack has always been a staple of a good Mario game, and trust me, this game does not disappoint. It has a very catchy main theme that is essentially a different take on the original New Super Mario Bros. Theme. Most of the songs in the game are either based off this melody, but played on different instruments to match the different environments, or just reused music from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. This isn't really a problem, because the New Super Mario Bros. Wii soundtrack was also really good, it just makes it feel even more like additional content for New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And if they were trying to separate themselves from this game, they really haven't done a very good job. That said, all of the music sounds great and suits the levels very well. It's the background music to this video, as I always try to do, and I heavily recommend you support the official release, and you can find links for that in the description below. So I'm going to be talking about the final boss and some secrets hidden around the game, so if that's the kind of thing that you want to find out for yourself and you don't want me to spoil it for you, then make sure to skip to the time shown on screen now. I'll also be talking about how you have to completely 100% the game, so again, skip to the time on screen now if you want to avoid spoilers. Right, that's your last chance. Let's do this. So, if you hadn't guessed, you fight Bowser. Like pretty much every Mario game, the final showdown is a fight against Bowser, and in this one, Bowser Jr. as well. Now, in my opinion, one of the hardest levels on New Super Mario Bros. Wii was the final boss level. I actually really found it interesting and quite difficult how you had to run away from Bowser through most of the level, and it was a really difficult platforming challenge. Especially when I was trying to 100% the game, collecting every single star coin while doing this really wasn't easy. To be honest, I was expecting another kind of level like this, another level where there was a lot of platforming involved, and it wasn't just jump on Bowser a bunch of times until you win. Unfortunately, I don't think that the final boss in this game is even close to as good as the one on Wii. After you reach Princess Peach's castle, you have a good few levels to get through. These levels are pretty tough, and when you reach the final level, you have to complete a level with Bowser Jr. flying above you, and smashing into you every time you try to do anything. It's so annoying. Anyway, yeah, that's fun, but Bowser Jr. just kindly freaks off when you get to the midway point, and now you can go on to the final fight. As always, you run under Bowser, hit the switch, blah blah blah, the game isn't actually over, here's the actual fight. Bowser gets made giant by Kamek, or Magikoopa, whichever you prefer, and then the final fight begins. This is very different to the fight on Wii because you're actually directly fighting Bowser instead of running away from him. Bowser Jr. is flying above you the whole time trying to blast down on you again, can you stop? And then when you actually do dodge him, you can jump on him and take over his clown car. From here you fly above Bowser, dodging all of his fireballs, smash down on his head, and then just avoid his shell phase. Also, just saying, seeing Bowser in his shell is really weird. Is that just me? Okay. Anyways, you do this 3 times, which, to be honest, even in single player is really not that hard because there's a checkpoint right before it. And then it's over. The boss fight is finished. It takes much, much less time to do than on Wii, and this is one of the most disappointing parts of the game for me. However, there is still challenge, and it isn't the end of the game. After beating Bowser, you unlock the secret World 9 and get a star on the main menu. You also get a second star if you've been collecting all the star coins in Worlds 1 to 8. You need to get 5 stars to completely 100% the game, and 2 more of the stars are for finishing World 9, 1 for finishing it and 1 for getting all the star coins. This definitely contains the hardest levels in the entire game, with ones like the timed P-block speedrunning level taking like 50 attempts for me. It didn't disappoint, and collecting all the star coins and completing the levels took quite a while. It's worth it for those sweet, sweet stars though. Last but not least, you have to unlock all of the secret exits in all the main levels, and catch Nabbit in every world for the 5th star. This is a little dumb. Nabbit is quite an annoying mechanic and basically results in a race to catch Nabbit running through the levels, but it adds a bit of extra challenge. If you fuck it up, then you have to die 3 more times before he'll respawn, and he'll cycle through the level, so it can take quite a while to catch him. Anyway, finally, all 5 stars. So the actual base game is really fun. It's definitely not an original game, but it heavily improves on the formula that came before it, and it doesn't really separate itself from Wii, but it still feels like a step up from it, for sure. The gameplay is fun. It keeps the core mechanics of what makes the new Super Mario Bros. Games them, and adds a few new things. Admittedly, most of them don't really change up the gameplay very much, but stuff like the flying squirrel suit was a great addition. If you've never played one of the new Super Mario Bros. Games in the series, then either New Super Mario Bros. Wii or this one is probably a good one to start on. That's if price isn't an issue, because the game is around £40 on Amazon, which is quite a lot of money. For what you pay, there's a decent amount of content. If you're just gonna rush through the base game, not worry about collecting the star coins or 100%ing the game, you wouldn't get very much content out of it. You can complete the entire game in under an hour if you just take the biggest shortcuts that you can in the game. However, if you're looking for a challenge and you want to 100% the game, or you want to play it with 3 or maybe 4 of your friends if one of them's willing to compromise, then this could definitely be a good buy for you. Also, with the inclusion of New Super Luigi U, the game is kind of different. It's essentially like a new game built in the same engine, which I'm fine with. I tried playing through it and it's a lot harder, so if you're looking for a challenge, that's probably the mode you want to be playing. I really like that they included both games together though. I think that definitely makes the bundle worth a lot more for what you're paying. So anyway, with all of that taken into consideration, I'd rate New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe an 8.5 out of 10. Having more stuff in the bundle than just that one game definitely makes it more worth the money than if you just bundled that game by itself, because on Wii U it's a lot cheaper now. The game's good, but you can very easily complete it if that's all you're trying to do. The final boss fight is a bit of a flunk, and that really does annoy me because I always loved the final boss fights in this series. Some of them are really, really difficult. But then again, if I want more of a challenge, I can always go back and properly play through New Super Luigi U, so I guess I can't complain. There's definitely things wrong with the game, which is why objectively I don't feel like I can rate it higher than what I did. It's not flawless, but in terms of how much I enjoy the game, I want to rate it around an 8.5 because there's a lot of stuff that feels absolutely amazing about it. Because I like it so much, I'm still putting it on the mag list, but that doesn't mean that it's the right game for everyone. If you want a very new kind of Mario game, then maybe going and playing Super Mario Odyssey is what you're looking for, because that really does stand out from the rest of the series. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like the video and subscribe to stay updated with the channel. If you want to stay updated, you can also check out my social stuffs, links on screen now and in the description. Let me know what you think of the game below. I know that a lot of people have mixed opinions about this game, so I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, so see you there.